Hand at its full top, bum underneath the machine like this. Like, look, it's falling down on myself.
Please welcome Lynds.
Alright everybody, Mike Lynds here. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on basically how to warm up your back. What I like to do is I like to do a pull down variation. So what I'm going to start with is a unilateral pull down. Obviously the benefits of warming up is risk of injury. You got to warm up any muscle before you get into a heavier movement. Instead of jumping right into going crazy heavy. Yes, it's all great and fine to lift heavy and make yourself feel good, but you have to prime the body. You have to get the body ready for those movements. So elongating, stretching the muscle, getting blood flow in there, lubricating the joints, all that stuff. Right away, you'll see a lot of people, their shoulders automatically go right to their neck. So yes, that's good for a stretch, but you want to kind of lean back until you feel that stretch right around the armpit to armpit, rhomboid, lat, everything is, you're feeling that stretch. And thinking you're driving and diverging the hands away. So think about elbow drive. So I'm driving that elbow away. Every rep I'm coming up to that stretch. Driving down. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Basically the whole range, you're keeping, yes, the tension on the muscle. So you're going, I'm not really feeling any part of this movement that is not strain. So, like I mentioned before, you're getting blood flow and you're stretching out that muscle. So when you get into those bigger, heavier movements, that muscle is going to be ready for that. So, no real rep range when it comes into warming up. You're getting the blood flow going. You're just getting that feel. Not heavyweight, not even moderate to heavy. You're just going through the motion, getting the blood flow going, getting yourself primed up. Yes, you will in this movement. You have to do a somewhat heavyweight. And then when you go to your next movement, you can get a little bit more into it, but this is what I like to start out in. What I'm gonna do is do an underhand. And then again, you're stretching out that lat, you're elongating the muscle, putting blood in. So when you're getting into this, a lot of people like to, they use the torso. They use momentum to get it going. One thing I stress on, especially with my clients, is don't use momentum. Get that stretch, you get that squeeze on every single rep. So when I'm getting into this, I'm locking. So wherever I get that stretch at the most, if it's here or here, one thing is I'm pressing my shoulders down, getting that stretch. So this is where I feel it the most. This is where my torso is locked. So again, same as the last one, you're going to full stretch at the very top, and you're going to where you're fully squeezed at the bottom. I'm not swinging, my torso is not moving. And again, you're warming up. So you're not worried about rep range, you're just getting blood volume in, getting that full stretch, getting blood into that muscle. So you don't really need to worry about, when you get into those heavy compound movements, you're starting with a cold muscle that's not elongated and stretched out, because you're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna have an injury. So remember that when you're warming up for your back the next time. Try each one of those movements, vary it a little bit. One day do the unilateral if you have it. Next day do a narrow grip. If you don't have the unilateral, go with, if you have a mag, a wider grip or a neutral, or you can go wide with the normal pull down bar. Again, getting a full stretch, full squeeze type thing. I just like the unilateral because it gives you that divergent motion. You're getting unilateral movement on both arms. So you have full stretch, full movement on each one. So you're not stuck in that plane. I have touched on this before in other videos. So It's one of these ones I continually see done wrong. One thing people gotta remember when they see this shit on Instagram or TikTok and they see a pro doing it, they're doing it in a way, they're not seated, they're not in a seated position. So if they're standing up like this and they're leaning forward and they're doing this, they're doing the same thing that I'm telling you. So if I'm standing and my body is leaned into this pad with this one arm here, I'm getting full stretch, full squeeze. But look at my body. If I'm seated, I'm in like a decline position, so my chest is up. So it completely changes how my body and how my back is beaten. So people got to really think about and study a video of a professional doing this movement. They're doing it in a way that is working for their benefit. So they might be a short person that's doing this to get a longer range, or they're a taller person and they're doing it in a standing position and they're getting the full range. Because if they stay seated, it changes the tension on the muscle. So they're still in that row position, but they're more standing up and they're more leaning towards their hand, which is completely different than seated. So I'm gonna do it in my version of seated. So yes, you still can make a separation between yourself and the seat. Now I'm in the full tension, I'm getting the full stretch here, and my elbow drive is here. So you see, I'm getting full range of motion, I'm getting full stretch, and I'm getting the full squeeze. My sternum comes up when my scapula and elbow go back. And I'm staying in the machine's tension. I'm staying in that spot where the tension is at the full range of the machine. As soon as I go past parallel or perpendicular to the floor, this handle, the tension gets less and less. So, like I said, if I'm standing, I'm leaning in the machine, right here is where I lose. I'm losing the tension right here. So even in this, for me, I gotta lean forward, which to me is totally detrimental to my type of body and my stature. So I would rather do it in a seated position and get the most out of every rep. So I put my hand here, I'm in the full stretch, so I'm letting my shoulder, which is dropped down, my scapula come right up, feeling the full stretch, and I'm driving. Like shit you not, I've seen this, which I don't even understand. Hand at its full top, bum underneath the machine like this. Like look, it's falling down on myself. Like there's nothing there. So if you're gonna do this machine, do it right. Don't, because trust me, I'm not the only one looking at you shaking my head. Half the people in the gym are like, why? Like really, why? Why are you doing that? You're loading up the machine, you're physically doing a deadlift to get, so you can sit your bum behind the machine and do this, and there's absolutely no tension on the machine whatsoever. You're just making yourself feel good. So do it properly, get the benefit out of it, get the range of motion that's gonna put the most tension on the muscle. So if you're gonna do this machine, do it right. This machine is built in a certain way, put the most tension on the muscle. So use this machine for what it's properly used for. So that's it for today. Next time you're doing back, use these movements. Remember, warm up your muscle before you get into the head of your movements. And like, comment, subscribe. Anything you guys want me to work on, put in the comments below. I will always reply, regardless of timeline, and be respectful. Be respectful to the guide people around you. Give advice to when you can. All right, guys.